Hello YouTube, Will I Make It here. I am getting ready to install a Super ATV general purpose clutch kit on this 2018 RZR 900S. About the only thing I've really done to this thing as far as the drivetrain or anything that could affect the drivetrain is concerned is I upsized the tires by an inch when I bought it. I got 29-inch 28-inch, sorry, Sedona Rockabilly tires on here. And other than that, I've really done nothing to this other than a few cosmetic things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out into the county, and we're going to, I may do something silly like run, between so many telephone poles, see what the top speed is after like 2 or 3 telephone pole sets or something. Or maybe I will just do, like, say, a 0 to 50 test, because this isn't a turbo or a 1000. This is 75 horsepower machine, so I might do a 0 to 50 test or something while it's all stock yet, and then I'll get the kit in and go after it with. I'll go back and do the same trial runs again with the new clutch kit and see if that makes a difference or not. Later on, hopefully before the end of the year, I'm thinking about buying the Super ATV ECU tuner, and I'd like to check that out because it's got a pretty, for this machine, it's got a pretty massive horsepower gain, and I'd like to see what that can do also. And but just haven't got there yet, one piece at a time. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I will get back with you here in a minute. Okay, guys, so I had my little test ride there, 0 to 55 in just a shade over 10 seconds. Here's what I've got going on. I got the general purpose clutch kit. As you can see, I got my primary puller tool, springs, weights, so on. And I grabbed an Extreme Badass belt while I was at it. I thought I'd go ahead and replace the belt while I was at it, and then use my old belt as a replacement. So anyways, I'm going to get tearing on this thing, and I'll get back with you in a minute. Okay, guys, I have repacked it with grease again. Tried to keep as much in there as I could. We're going to give it a quick wipe down. I have this thing Teflon taped this time. I did not Teflon tape it before, so it might be, maybe that's part of my problem. Maybe I just didn't have as good of a seal, I'm hoping. And again, I might just be blowing smoke. So get this thing ready here. The compressor is fully charged again. Let's see if this will go for us this time or not. I want to twist this around and get my good arm on it in case this thing decides to fly. Oh. Well, as you can see, grease is starting to seep out of it, so I'm definitely getting some pressure on it. I'm blowing by my all my Teflon tape. Let that thing charge back up a little bit again. I think I'm at about the end of the road here, and maybe the end of my rope. I may just rebuild it on the machine and be done with it. I have a feeling that the grease that's squished out here is probably going to make me lose my pressure now. pop it with the mallet a couple times. It's definitely getting some air out of there. I can see the bubbling. Alright. Guess we're rebuilding it on the machine. Okay guys, back again. Now I've officially given up on trying to get this primary off. And you know, maybe some of you guys can comment on it and give me some useful information, you know, that maybe I'm doing something wrong here. But anyways, this I found is a 1/8 inch Allen wrench and a 3/8 socket. So I'm just taking this thing apart on here. I've already got the cover off, which I should have shown you guys. I didn't think about it in time. And so we're just going to kind of get this off of here and take it apart the not as easy way, where you have to stick your head in the fender and everything. Okay. So anyways, that's just giving you the kind of short look on it. Like I said, it's a 3/8 and it's a 3/8 socket and a 1/8 Allen wrench. And my other one didn't come out as easy. I used one of my punches. Sorry about the semi going by and all the lawn mowing going on. So anyways, there's one of the stock weights. If you notice, there's no nothing real fancy about them. I used a punch and just a couple of light taps with the old ball peen hammer to get the other one out up here. And I've got one left to go, and we'll be back here in a minute when I get that one out of there and get ready to clean it up and install the new stuff. Okay guys, so here's the new weight. Old weight, quite a bit of difference in construction there, as you can see. This one's adjustable if you want to buy the weight kit for it. I did not for the moment. I just bought it as general purpose. Here's the old bolts. They got a little bit of surface rust in them, which is, I'm not sure why. It didn't seem like I'd got any water in there, but set comes with new bolts. And I've cleaned this out and got the dust off the cover and everything here and out of the crevices, and about ready to go put this thing back together again. So just wanted to show you a little something here real quick. The new primary spring is nearly a 1/2 inch shorter than the original primary spring. Just wanted to point that out real quick. And let's go ahead and work on getting our first weight in here. Check our bolt sizes here. I believe that is an 1/8 inch, or sorry, 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so we're still an 1/8 inch on the Allen wrench and 3/8 on the socket. So here's the first weight. Hopefully y'all can see this okay. There we go. Tapped it on through there. Now I'm going to use this to start this nut here. Alright, that's the stop nut. Is hit the stop point, at least for my fingers. Okay. Interesting. Alrighty. Alright, first weight installed, guys. I'll be back shortly when the others are in and we'll get the cover back on. Install the spring now. Earlier I showed you that the spring was about a 1/2 inch shorter, but I think it's stiffer. So we're going to slide that on there. We have an X here where my thumb is, and there's an X right here. And I also have it marked. I had to turn this clutch a little bit, which I'm not sure if it was a good idea to do that or not. I heard somewhere that you could mess up the timing of your engine if you're not careful. So anyways, you gotta push this on here, and it's pretty heavy. It came off a lot easier, let's put it that way. Maybe I should use my right hand. Wow, you do got to get that on there pretty good. That helped. I think. Sure don't seem to be going anywhere. It's going. There it goes. All right, let me get another one started here. It'd have probably been a lot smarter of an idea. I'll get a third one started, and then I'll run them in with my gun a little bit. If I can reach it. As you guys can see, I don't always think this stuff out well before I start. Alright, well, it's got some good start there now, so I can get the other bolts started up. It's a little bit of a, you know, it's not that tight of a space to work in, but it's tight enough to be inconvenient. That's interesting. There we go. I think we got her now. I'm just going slow with these because I just really don't want to. I got to get my torque wrench on them yet. Okay. Get my torque wrench set up here. It's going to be 10 foot-pounds, which this wrench is an inch-pounds wrench, so that's going to be 100. Wait a minute, I better go back and check that real quick. Let's see what we got here on the computer. Or actually, I wrote it down on this here paper. 8 foot-pounds. So it's going to be 96 inch-pounds. Okay, that's all snug back up. So now, alright, okay, that's in. So next step's going to be taking care of the secondary after I get the bolt back in on this one while I'm thinking about it. Okay guys, this one here I'm going to have to come back later to finish it because I actually, ooh, I forgot there's still grease in there. I got to clean the grease out first. Still got some more grease left in there I haven't gotten out of there yet. So, alright, project goes on. Alright, here we are, we're getting ready to work on our secondary now. There's 4 bolts on top of this. You'll need a spring compressor tool. This one here I made at work out of some scrap metal that I bought off the company. And we're going to go ahead and run it through there like so. See if it works for this one anyways. This is a little different. I actually made this one for a Yamaha Grizzly and that I used to have, and that's why it's got such a funny shape to it, because I had to mill out a whole bunch of the center to work my way around the Grizzly with it. So anyways, what I'm going to do is here I'm going to get this thing about flush, slide it up through like so, slide her down there. Looks like it's going to fairly well fit. It just needs to be snugged. I was thinking I needed to compress, but I don't. Okay, so let's see if this works out okay here. Wow, you know, when you blow these things off, you don't realize how much more dirt there can still be in there. So those are Loctited in, so I just noticed. Alright, now I'm going to go side to side on this one, and just in case anything wants to go raging out of here. Now it looks like my compressor is doing its job. Yep. Alright. So there you go. Homemade compressor tool. Okay, back again. I didn't like the way this thing was working for me at first, so now I'm I think I've got her going on now. Yeah, yep. Still hanging on to it a little bit because of the because of the shape of my homemade tool here. It was wanting to come out a little crooked, and I didn't like that. I didn't want it to mess up the finish in there, so I was trying to put a little extra pressure on it to kind of hold it straight. Now this isn't as handy to use as Super ATV's tool. I just, being cheap, I didn't want to spend the money on it. Alright, there we are. So that's all sprung up now. So now I'm going to go back down to this end, spin my little tool off there, and I guess my little pumpkin belly is good for holding the clutch sheaves in place. That's what happens when you're pushing 50. Them 6-pack abs are a thing of the past. Okay, so as you can see, I got some dirt and stuff in there, debris. I'm going to have to clean that out. And here's the setup. So here we have your whole helix and everything. I'm going to blow it out. And that's the old spring, which, ooh, that's odd, the little hook on there, because that is not on my new spring, I don't think. Nope, the new spring doesn't have that. Now look at that, look at the length difference in those two. That's quite a bit. That should be interesting. Alright guys, I'm going to do a little cleaning, and then I'll be back. Okay, it's all cleaned out. Here's your purple spring. I'll drop it in there. Take this, I think I'm just going to take that out and slide it over and see how this works out here. Okay, Now comes the fun part, getting it all back together. I think I'm gonna have to give myself some extra space on this because that spring's so much longer. Pumpkin belly again at work. Knew getting chunky had an advantage somewhere down the line. I'm just going to run this thing on it. It's easier to spin this. Alright. Now, I find my slot in between my table here. Okay. Start cranking her back down again. Whoops, wrong way. Okay. It took some doing, but I found out that with that longer spring and my odd-shaped homemade tool, this piece here, the helix, wanted to kind of rock back and forth. So it took a little bit of grunt work, and I'm doing this by myself. I really could have used another set of hands. But anyways, I got it down here now, pretty much. And it took a little bit of doing to get it lined up right. But anyways, we're here to this point now. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten all these down here. Or I'm going to snug them anyways real quick. Alright, now I've got my torque wrench set already, and I think it's 48 inch-pounds. Get back on the computer here and take a look. Yes, 48 inch-pounds. So go ahead and get these snugged up real quick. There's one. All right, now we can remove my contraption here. Okay, there we go, reassembled. Now I'm going to do what I see everybody do in the videos, and I'm going to take a Scotch-Brite pad to the inside of this, just because it seems like the popular thing to do. Makes sense though, really. To rough up that surface a little bit, maybe give the belt a little better place to grab onto. I'm not doing anything crazy with it either, I'm just scuffing it up some. This should be fun. Yeah, that didn't work. Alright guys, made a mistake. Had to loosen up my secondary again because, well, you know, that was it needed to be loosened to help get the belt on easier. Anyways, so I'm going to try to walk this belt on. By the way, I put the letters of the belt so they're facing where I can read them. That's how I'm going to put them on every time. Hey, not bad. Went on there fairly decent. There we go. I think we about got that. So we'll have to do our 55 foot-pounds again here. All right. So start it on there, and then get your old torque wrench back here again and go through that process once more. Just remember to cut me some slack, guys. I'm a total rookie at this. I'll make sure, because my other belt rode higher, I noticed. There it goes. Now it's tightened up. Look at that. Got it. All right. Whew. Boy, that belt rides pretty high. Check it out. Riding high all the way around. Alright, well, we'll see how this thing does. Let me get the cover back on here, guys. And that's a wrestling match. I won't subject you to watching that because that was embarrassing, as well about the rest of this video is. Alright, guys. I've taken it for a couple test runs around the yard and ran it through all the gears. And everything seems fine, so I'm going to take it out into the county on one of the county roads, and we're going to give it I'll try to get the same spot again, give it a 0 to 55 time trial, and see if it makes that much of a difference or not. The clutch engagement is different. Looks like it's a couple hundred RPMs less than it was before, and it does feel a little smoother. It doesn't feel quite so jerky when it's first engaging. You know, like if you get right at the edge of that RPM, especially in reverse, like when I'm backing out of the garage. On the old primary, or the old clutch system, the way it was before, I would, it just like jerk its way out of the garage if I was trying to go slow and not, get it to grab fully. And this seems to do a bit better on that in reverse. And like I said, smoother takeoff, and we'll see how it does out in the county. 1, 2, 3. Installation's complete. I'd consider it a success, although it was a little bit rocky getting it done, mostly because I couldn't get that primary off. I would have much preferred to have worked on that primary on a bench or something. But we got it done, and got all the greasy mess cleaned out of there too. A little bit of carburetor cleaner, and well, actually a lot of carburetor cleaner, air hose with a long nozzle on it, and some of these giant Q-tips that I got from the farm store to swab some of that stuff out of there. Anyhow, I'd like to go over a couple numbers with you about torques and stuff. So the primary bolt that holds it on is 96 foot-pounds. Secondary bolt is 55 foot-pounds. The primary cover, once you're inside where you have the 6-bolt pattern, is 8 foot-pounds or 96 inch-pounds. The weights are 20 inch-pounds. And then the plastic outer cover, they say 54 inch-pounds in the software book that I got. That seems excessive to me. I think I stripped one of them out, so I went the rest of them I snugged them up pretty good with a 1/4 inch ratchet, and that's what I'm going with. I just went by feel. It's pretty arbitrary, just because I didn't want to strip any more out. Also, the software book that I bought it off of eBay. I found it. It was like the manual is a downloadable manual. It was like 10 or 13 bucks or something. It was really very reasonable. and it's got a lot of good information in it. It's where I got all my torque specs from. So I highly advise going and looking on eBay for that. That's the second downloadable manual I've gotten. I did a downloadable manual for my 550 Grizzly also, and that was very helpful when I worked on the clutch on it too a little bit, not to the extent of this one, and that worked out really well. So those are good resources to look into. So I wanted to say this thing does engage smoother. Definitely engages a couple hundred RPMs lower, and seems like it might pull a little harder at the in the low end at takeoff. And my 0 to 55 tests, those were super sketchy on the times, okay, because I was out there by myself. I was trying to control the stopwatch and drive the vehicle and watch the speedometer and everything, and so those are very, them times aren't the greatest. And plus this last one, the last run I did had a new belt to top it off, so the belt's not fully broken in yet either. But anyways, overall I'm pretty happy with it, and I just wanted to say that's a Super ATV, the general purpose kit. I did not buy the extra weights. I'm gonna hold off on that. I want to see how this thing does next time I go out for a Badlands ride or a Haspin Acres ride, and I want to see how it works out. And maybe I'll buy the extra weight kit later and goof around with it some more. In the future, I'm planning on doing an ECU flash probably here in the next couple of months. I'll get the Super ATV Stage 2 and see what we can really get out of this thing. And so that's about it, I guess, on the side-by-side here. Now this is, like I said, it's Polaris 900S, 2018 model. It's been a pretty good machine, and I've only gotten it stuck once, and it went through everything very well. Performed better than I ever expected it to. Also wanted to say this weekend's 4th of July 2020 right now. I am a veteran, so I got to go off on my little veteran spiel here and tell you all to enjoy your freedom and have a good and happy, safe holiday weekend. And like I said, enjoy that freedom, because you don't get freedom like this anywhere else in the world. And in light of everything that's been going on politically in our country, with all the protesting and rioting and all this, I think people just don't think about that enough. And about how it is to live somewhere else. I've lived in other countries, and I served in another country, and yeah, our freedom is a standard all its own versus everybody else in the world. So I just want y'all to think about that. I won't get too political here. But anyways, gotta show you my 9-line shirt. This is my 4th of July wear. I'm proud of my country. I hope all of you are too. And I'll just say, America. You guys have a great weekend.